Does the WRC need to cut costs? Well, it's been something I've been saying for years at this point. Yes, simply, it does. And, I mean, you can just look at the turnout you see in the top class, for me, as a main sticking point of that. Because Rally 1s, like, if we're lucky, we'll get a full points roster of them. It was the same in the previous generation of World Rally Car. They're just so expensive. They're so difficult to maintain. They're so difficult to get parts for. And what it means is the privateers are less likely to show up. And what do I mean by that? Well, I was thinking back about this just before this video. As I've seen all of these headlines about M Sport wanting to run national events as a Puma because then that makes it more financially viable. And I was thinking about the previous rule cycle. 2. Well, not even the Rally 1. The one before that. The first one of the 1.6 litres. Which was designed to get more manufacturer interests. Designed to be cheaper to run. And 2011... Wow. You have so many different entries and so many different teams showing up. I mean, M Sport ran 2 different entries. Obviously, they had Ford funding at the time. But you managed to see like the names of Henning Solberg, Matthew Wilson, Mads Osberger, Gerdie Novikov, all arguably, all sharing cars, all being entered under the kind of those Works banners. You saw the late Ken Block showing up for several events. You saw Khaled Al-Qasimi and Evgeny Novikov. I mean, the DS3, you had Van Merksteins and Raikkonen alongside the full-time entries for Solberg and also for the 2 Sebs. Heck, even the minis, you had privateer entries. And you saw some people, showing up in S2000s that were registered under the manufacturer stuff, like Volkswagen before they joined in 2013. But yeah, you look at what you've got here with all of these different entries, and then you go into 2012 and you see that again, even more for the Ford Fiestas that were privately entered, some for the DS3s, and a few for the Minis. After, of course, ProDrive ended up losing the kind of funding they were looking for. And then you get to 2013, it drops off a little bit. You see fewer and fewer non-Citroen-backed DS3s, but you see so many Fiestas. You still see a handful of Minis, and then 14 it starts to drop off again, and this keeps on going until, of course, we get to the 2017 spec. And I know it's cool to see the support series getting into the top 10 every once in a while, but it's happening every rally now. And not only is it happening pretty much every rally, it's also more and more likely they're going to get higher finishing positions. Like, we're talking to the point of top 5s. Which I think is a bit extreme, that we could see that happening. But, yeah. What do we do to get back to that kind of cost saving? I think the solution's simple, and if you're a Toyota fan, you're not going to like it. And it's going to the Rally 2 Plus formula. I mean, when the Yaris Rally 2 launches, it could easily be that it's going to be the class of the field. I mean, it's Toyota. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But people are a bit worried. Though I would say, if you're worried about the WRC's future, you want to see the Rally 2 Plus for the kind of hybrid regulations, rather than the WRC minus that we currently have. I'll tell you why. Look at the ERC. It's also on the WRC promoters package. I love watching the ERC. In fact, this season, I think I've probably been following the ERC on the All Live platforms and the Rally TV platforms more than the actual WRC. And it's not because of necessarily the events, but the events have been fun to follow All Live the past couple of seasons. It's because you see so many people showing up. You see these locals coming in from their local championships because they double up with the European Rally Championship rounds. You see some of these people in the WRC circus as well, but you get to see a lot more of them on the ERC one because they're in Rally 2s and the top class is Rally 2. It's really cool to see all these people fighting toe-to-toe. I mean, if you look at the ERC this season, you can just see people who are doing every round. You can see people who are doing less rounds. And heck, if you have a look at like the Wikipedia entry section of it, you can see so many people that you need to scroll down 3 or 4 times to cover the entire entry list. And sure, lots of these people have got one-offs. Some of them are in for 2 or 3 rounds. Some of them did all 7 so far. Some of them will do all 8, including the entry into Rally Hungary. But what it means is you've got 46 drivers who have scored points this season. And I think that's pretty cool. So you've got over 40 drivers scoring points this season. If I go to the WRC, it's 25. From 10 rounds. From 7, you've got 43 in the ERC. I think that's where we should be. I think there should be more entries for privateers. Because doing this rallying pyramid that we've had, and I would say this, I'd argue this is the end of the TOT era of FIA, not really the start of the Bensalem ones. But the Rally 1 pyramid is F1. It's almost F1 in terms of the budgets. It's almost F1 in terms of how exclusive it is to compete in these things. But you look at the ERC, and you get to see these old names coming back for one-off events. I mean, heck, you see Jan Kopecki show up and end up almost getting a perfect score in 1 round. He ends up winning. And it's the Bahrain Rally. But you don't get those same kinds of stories if he's rocking up in a Rally 2 to an event that's full of Rally 1s. And that is my point here. It's cool to have these cars that look so aggressive like the Rally 1s. But the Rally 2s still look pretty mean. And I think the best eras of the WRC are the late 90s, early noughties, and the early 2010s. When you would have so many people showing up in their privateer Subarus, Mitsubishis, Peugeots, Fords, Citroens. Heck, we even had privateer Hyundai Accents back in the day. We don't get that so much anymore. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.